Hi friends, welcome to i-TUTOR NCERT series. Today we are going to discuss about the Class 8 Geography NCERT Chapter 4 Agriculture. Transformation from a plant to a finished product involve three types of economic activities. Okay, so the transformation from a plant to a finished product. So this involves three types of economic activity. The first one is primary, then secondary and tertiary activities. Okay, so they are primary activity, secondary activity and tertiary activity. Primary activity include all those connected with the extraction and production of natural resources. So what are primary activities? That is those connected with the extraction and production of natural resources. Example, agriculture, fishing and gathering are good examples of primary production. Okay, so that is primary activity. What is primary activity? That's include extraction and production of natural resources. So example, agriculture, fishing and gathering. Now secondary activity. Secondary activities are concerned with the processing of these resources. Okay, so what is secondary activities? These are concerned with the processing. Okay, the processing of these activities, processing of the final primary products, that is called secondary activity. Okay, so these are the processing of the resources. Example, manufacturing of steel, baking of bread and weaving of clothes. Okay, so these are the examples of secondary activities. Now tertiary activities provide support to the primary and secondary sectors through services. So the tertiary activity means services. They mainly include services. That is, they provide support. Okay, they provide support to the primary and secondary sectors. Okay, so this is about the three sectors of the economy. First one is primary sector or primary activity, then secondary activities, and final one is tertiary activity. Primary activities include extraction and production of all natural resources. Example, agriculture, fishing and gathering. Now secondary activity is concerned with the processing of these resources, processing of the primary resources, that is manufacturing of steel, baking of bread and weaving of cloth. So these are the example for secondary activities. Now what is tertiary activities? They mainly include services. Okay, that is they provide support to the primary and secondary activities or secondary sectors. Example, transport, trade, banking, insurance and advertising. Okay, so these are the examples of tertiary activities. Agriculture is a primary activity. It including growing crops, fruits, vegetables, flowers and rearing of livestock. In the world, 50% of people are engaged in agriculture activity. 2/3 of India's population is still dependent on the agriculture. Favorable topography of soil and climate are vital for agriculture activity. The land on which the crops are grown is known as arable land. Okay, so these are about the agriculture activity or the primary sector. Now, farm sector or farm system. Agriculture or farming can be looked at as a system. The important inputs are seeds, fertilizers, machinery and labor. So these are the important inputs. Okay, inputs means what we give. So these are the inputs, important inputs of agriculture, that is machinery, labor, fertilizers and seeds. Some of the operations involved are plowing, sowing, irrigation, weeding and harvesting. So these are some of the process or operations involved in the process of agriculture. First one is plowing, then sowing, then irrigation, that is watering, then weeding and harvesting. The output from the system include crops, wool, dairy and poultry products. Okay, so these are the input operations and these are the output items. Okay, so they are crops, wool, dairy and poultry products. Now types of farming. Farming is practiced in various ways across the world. Depending upon the geographical conditions, demand of produce, labor and level of technology, farming can be classified into two main types. Okay, so the farming can be classified into two main types according to the geographical condition, demand of produce, labor and level of technology. These are subsistence farming and commercial farming. Okay, so two types of farming. First one is subsistence farming and second one is commercial farming. Now, what is subsistence farming? This types of farming is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Okay, so the subsistence farming is the farming which is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Okay, so it's they only give small output. Okay, they only practice to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Traditionally, low levels of technology and household labors are used to produce a small output. Okay, so they used only low level technology and household labors. Okay, they didn't they only make small output. Okay, so that's why they only use low levels of technology and household labors. Subsistence farming can be further classified as intensive subsistence and primitive subsistence. Okay, so again this subsistence farming can be classified into two types. First one is intensive and next one is primitive. In intensive subsistence agriculture, the farmers cultivates a small plot of land using simple tools and more labor. Okay, in first one, that is in the intensive subsistence agriculture, farmers cultivate a small plot. Okay, in a small plot and simple tools and more labor. Okay, small plot, simple tools, more labor. Okay, that is intensive subsistence agriculture. Climate with large number of days with sunshine and fertile soils permit growing of more than one crop annually on the same plot. Rice is the main crop. So rice is the main crops of intensive subsistence agriculture. Other crops include wheat, maize, pulses and oilseeds. Now, intensive subsistence agriculture is prevalent in the thickly populated areas of the monsoon region of South, Southeast and East Asia. Okay, they mainly found in the regions of South, Southeast and East Asia. What are the specialty of these regions? This is thickly populated areas and these are monsoon regions. Now, second one is primitive subsistence agriculture. It includes shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Okay, so it includes shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. What is shifting cultivation? It's the practice in the thickly forested areas of Amazon basin, tropical Africa, parts of Southeast Asia and Northeast Asia. These are the areas of heavy rainfall and quick regeneration of vegetation. Now, a plot of land is cleared by felling the trees and burning them. So what is this? It's a plot of land is cleared by felling the trees and burning them. The ashes are then mixed with the soil and crops like maize, yam, potatoes and cassava are grown. Okay, so first they clear the plot or clear the land by felling the trees and then burn them. The ashes are then mixed with the soil. Okay, it increases the fertility of the soil and they grow crops like maize, yam, potatoes and cassava. After the soil loses its fertility, the land is abandoned and the cultivator moves to a new plot. Okay, so when the soil loses its fertility, the land is abandoned and the cultivator moves to the next plot. So that's why this is known as shifting cultivation. Okay, this is also known as slash and burn. Okay, so after the use, they left the place and move to the new place. Okay, or move to a new plot. Shifting cultivation is known by different names in different parts of the world. Jumming in Northeast India, Milpa in Mexico and Roca in Brazil. So these are the different names of shifting cultivation in different parts of the world. So that's the types of farming. Now, major plantations are found in the tropical regions of the world. Rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India and Sri Lanka are some examples. So these are some major plantations. Okay. Now moving forward, major crops. A large variety of crops are grown to meet the requirement of the growing population. Crops also supply raw materials for agro-based industries. Major food crops are wheat, rice, maize and millets. Okay, so these are the major food crops. What are they? Rice, wheat, maize and millets. Jute and cotton are fiber crops. So jute and cotton are known as fiber crops. Important beverage crops are tea and coffee. So tea and coffee are beverage crops. Now, rice. Okay, let's discuss about the rice. Rice is the major food crop of the world. So we all know rice is a major food crop. It is a staple diet of the tropical and subtropical region. So rice is the staple diet of tropical as well as the subtropical regions. Rice needs high temperature, high humidity and rainfall. So these are the conditions favorable for the growth of rice. What are they? First one is high temperature, high humidity and rainfall. It grows best in alluvial clay soil. So the soil type is alluvial clay soil, okay, which is best for the rice cultivation. And what is the characteristic of this soil? That can retain water. Okay, so this soil can retain water. China leads in the production of rice, followed by India, Japan, Sri Lanka and Egypt. So these are the countries which produce more rices. There are, first one is China, then India, Japan, Sri Lanka and Egypt. In favorable climate conditions, as in the West Bengal and Bangladesh, 2 to 3 crops are grown in a year. Okay, so in the favorable climatic conditions, in West Bengal and Bangladesh, 2 to 3 crops are grown in a year. Now, second one is wheat. Wheat requires moderate temperature and rainfall during growing season. Okay, during the growing season, the wheat need moderate temperature and rainfall, and it need bright sunshine at the time of harvest. Okay, so the growing season it need a moderate temperature and rainfall, but in the harvest time it need a bright sunshine. It thrives best in well drained loamy soil. Okay, so it thrives in best in well drained loamy soil. Okay, the rice need a alluvial clay soil, but wheat need a drained loamy soil. Wheat is grown extensively in USA, Canada, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, Australia and India. In India, it is grown in winter. So the wheat grown in India in the winter period or winter season. Next one is millet. They are also known as coarse grain and can be grown on less fertile and sandy soil. Okay, so they can be grown on less fertile and sandy soil. Okay, millets can be grown on the less fertile and sandy soil. It's a hardy crop that needs a low rainfall. Okay, so it needs only low rainfall and high to moderate temperature. Okay, it only needs a low rainfall and high to moderate temperature and adequate rainfall. Okay, so in sometimes it needs adequate rainfall. So it's a hardy crop that needs low rainfall and high to moderate temperature and adequate rainfall. Now, jowar, bajra and ragi are grown in India. Other countries are Nigeria, China and Niger. Okay, so these are the other countries. Next one is maize. Maize requires moderate temperature, rainfall and lots of sunshine. It needs well-drained fertile soil. So maize need a well-drained fertile soil. Maize is grown in North America, Brazil, China, Russia, Canada, India and Mexico. Next one is cotton. Cotton. Cotton requires high temperature, light rainfall, 210 frost-free days. Okay, so these are the conditions for the growing of cotton. First one is high temperature, light rainfall and importantly 210 frost-free days and a bright sunshine for its growth. Okay, so these are the conditions favorable for the growth of cotton. It grows best on black and alluvial soil. Okay, so it's best better grow on the black and alluvial soil. China, USA, India, Pakistan, Brazil and Egypt are the leading producers of cotton. It is one of the main raw material for the cotton textile industry. So it's the raw material used for the cotton industry. Next one is jute. It's also known as golden fiber. It grows well on alluvial soil and requires high temperature, heavy rainfall and humid climate. So jute need alluvial soil and it need a high temperature, heavy rainfall and humid climate. This crop is grown in the tropical areas. So they grow in the tropical areas. India and Bangladesh are the leading producers of jute. So India and Bangladesh are the leading producers of jute. Next one is coffee. It requires warm and wet climate and well-drained loamy soil. Okay, so these are the conditions favorable for coffee plantation. It requires warm and wet climate and they need a well-drained loamy soil. Hill slopes are more suitable for growth of this crop. Brazil is the leading producer. So Brazil is the leading producer followed by Colombia and India. Next one is tea. It's a beverage crop grown on plantations. So tea is another beverage crop and it's grown on plantations. This requires cool climate and a well distributed high rainfall throughout the year. So it's need a well distributed high rainfall throughout the year for the growth of its tender leaves. The tender leaves are used for the tea, used to make the tea. It needs well-drained loamy soil and gentle slopes. It also needs a well-drained loamy soil and in gentle slopes. Labor in large number is required to pick the leaves. Kenya, India, China, Sri Lanka produce the best quality tea in the world. Now, agriculture development. Agriculture development refers to the efforts made to increase farm production in order to meet the growing demands of increasing population. So we know the population is increasing day by day. So we need to control or we need to meet the growing demand of this population with the agriculture. This can be achieved in many ways such as increasing the crop area, the number of crops grown, improving irrigation facilities, use of fertilizers and high yielding varieties of seed. Mechanization of agriculture is also another aspect of agriculture development. The ultimate aim of agriculture development is to increase food security. Okay, we know the ultimate aim is increase the food security. Agriculture has developed at different places in different parts of the world. Developing countries with large populations usually practice intensive agriculture, where crops are grown on small holding, most for subsistence. Okay. Now, a case study. A farm in India. Look at this. There is a small village, Adilabad, in Ghazipur district of Uttar Pradesh. Munna Lal is a small farmer in his village who has farmland about 1.5 hectares. His house is in the main village. He purchases high yield varieties of seeds from the market every alternate year. The land is fertile and he grows at least 2 crops in a year, which are normally wheat or rice and pulses. The farmer takes advice of his friends and elders as well as the government agriculture offices regarding the farming practices. He takes a tractor on rent for plowing his field, though some of his friends still use traditional method of using bullocks for plowing. There is a tube well in the nearby field which he takes on rent to irrigate his field. Munalal also has 2 buffaloes and a few hens. He sells milk in the cooperative store located in the nearby town. He is a member of the cooperative society which also advises him on the type of fodder for his animal, safety measures to protect the health of the livestock and artificial insemination. All the members of his family help him in various farm activities. Sometimes he takes credit from the bank or agriculture cooperative society to buy the HYV seeds and implements. He sells his produce in the mandi located in nearby town. Since majority of the farmers do not have storage facilities, they are forced to sell the produce even when the market is not favorable to them. An agriculture field in India. So this is the agriculture field in India. Okay. Now, next one is a farm in USA. The average size of a farm in USA is much larger than that of an Indian farm. A typical farm size in USA is about 250 hectares. The farmer generally resides in the farm. Some of the major crops grown are corn, soybean, wheat, cotton and sugar beet. Joy Horan, a farmer in the Midwest USA in Iowa State, owned about 300 hectares of land. He grows corn on his field after making sure that the soil and water resources meet the needs of the crop. Adequate measures are taken to control the pest and can damage the crop. Now, from time to time, he sent the soil sample to soil testing laboratory to check whether the nutrients are sufficient or not. The results helps Joy Horan to plan a scientific fertilizer program. His computer is linked to the satellite which gives him a precise picture of the field. This helps him to use the chemical fertilizers. Now, he uses tractors, seed drills, levelers, combined harvester and thresher to perform various agriculture operations. A grains he stored is the automated grain storage or dispatched to market agencies. The farmer in USA works like a businessman and not like a peasant in India or peasant farmer like India. So this is the different ideas or different images of a farmer in India and a farmer in a USA. Okay, so compare this and comment your opinion below. Okay, so that's about this chapter. For more videos, do like, share, subscribe.